No efforts are there, only intention. Your intention should be there in the mind. That's all. Not effort. Intention is not an effort. Intention is intention. Effort is effort. No efforts are required for enlightenment. Intention is required. That I want to become enlightened. फिर चप्पल फाड़ कर मिल जाएगा आपको. Your intention becomes an order for the whole universe. The whole universe is jumping in to actualize your intention. Efforts are not required because you are a God. Everything is God. Efforts are discounted. Intention is counted. I am sitting at home now, right now, but I am talking to all of you. Where is the effort on in my case? I just got up and came here and sitting in this and talking to you. It is my intention, that's all. There is no effort here. No efforts. Only intention, pure intention. Backed by non-violence, non-killing, non-interference in your life. An intention backed by killing and violence and interference in your life will not work. An intention backed by non-killing, non-violence and non-interference in your life. You are daily eating meat and intending something, nothing is going to happen. You are eating meat, goat, chicken, but you are intending something should happen to you. Your third eye should open. Nothing is going to happen. Your pure intention backed by non-killing, non-violence and non-interference. There are three principles. You are killing everything and praying for Jesus and trying to manifest, oh Jesus, give me that. Nothing is going to happen. Your intentions are futile. Because the killing is there, the karma is there. Stop doing bad karma from today onwards, and then your intentions will manifest automatically without efforts.
Happy morning, friends, and a wonderful evening, those joining from the West. This program, Manifest, is to help us create what we want. The fundamental principle that we start as this program is that our thoughts create our reality. Everything is created by us. It's not somebody else doing it for us. Yesterday, you would have understood the concept of a placebo, which is essentially saying what is there as the fundamental belief and fundamental mindset is what is creating our reality. If you strongly believe that I can heal myself, then yes, our body has the ability to heal. There are many experiments we would have covered. We talk about how a strong intention, Triji spoke about this, a very, very strong intention will drive anything that we experience. So the most fundamental, the placebo experiments, if you please go ahead and read these books, The Mind to Matter and You Are a Placebo, will help you make this concept more clear that we are fundamentally creating our reality based on our thoughts and feelings. So for us to create anything that we want, we need to shift our mindset. Yashu Madam would have also covered briefly about the whole process that we'll cover in the next four sessions, which is essentially the process through which we can create the five principles. Patriji spoke about this. Essentially, for us to create anything, manifest anything, everything has to be aligned. Our intention, our action. While intention, if we say, I want to create something, but then our action is always to destroy something, then it's not fundamentally aligned. When I was looking to, so I used to be a delivery director at Cognizant when I got into meditation. And then I used to work there. I have worked there for more than 20 years. But there I had a strong desire to start my company, start my own enterprise, become an entrepreneur. Now, after having moved out of the corporate life, and I was looking to create, I had some idea which was coming from the past experience. I would spend a lot of time working on that idea, which was essentially around the healthcare side. About 10 years ago, I had that idea and we were working on it. At that point in time, it didn't work out. Then when I came into meditation, I felt that, my desire to be an entrepreneur is becoming stronger. So I was applying these principles and then saying that, okay, let me work on this. But I was still working with the past idea, past thought, which is around something that I want to start around healthcare using, and to prevent, diseases by predicting conditions using the health data that is already available. Because I was working on it, things would move forward because I was applying these principles, a strong desire, the things would go on, but then somewhere it wouldn't proceed. Now, I started practicing. I mean, of course, applying and focusing on what is it that I truly wanted. I went back to the basics. Somewhere, my mentor Chandraji told me, and I just asked a simple question. You got into meditation. You've been healing yourself without any external medication, and you are creating your own health. Why are you giving others something else? Now, that was a fundamental question that he was asking, and that's where I realized my whole intention and my actions were not aligned. While my intention and my own practice was telling me that I can heal myself, I don't need external medication. Meditation has that power to create whatever that we want. And here I was trying to start a company which is not aligned with that principle or the intention that I had. So things didn't happen. So the key, and I realized, was that intention and that action that we are doing, everything has to be aligned. And that's where meditation comes in. So let's go through these 5 principles briefly, and then we'll cover each of them, because next 4 sessions we will implement, we will take up what we want to create, understand this whole concepts of 5 principles. Everything is science. The whole manifestation is is a fundamental science of, and that can be repeated, applied, whatever that goal we want. So let me just put this top. So the foundation principle, again, as we were saying, of our manifestation is that our state of being or our thoughts and feelings creates our outer reality. The placebo effect is saying that you have to change your state of being, your mindset. State of being includes your mindset, your thoughts, your feelings. If you don't like what you are going through right now, I mean, essentially manifesting means you want to create something which you're not experiencing right now. So if you want to create something, then if your current reality is being created by your state of being, which is already there, you have to change your state of being. So we follow these fundamental principles of 5 principles. The first one is to develop one-point mindedness, which is essentially, as a concept, is a straightforward. Anything that you want to create, you want to have a very, very strong focused approach. But it goes beyond this, and we'll talk about it. Meditation is a fundamental practice that will help us bring this focus, bring this one-point mindedness. If you're working on your goal, and then you get sick, then of course you cannot focus. So health is important. You're working on your project and your relationship is not great, or there's some challenges in your relationship, of course the focus will go away. So many fundamental things are important for us to develop this focus and one-point mindedness. And meditation is a tool, fundamental tool, which will help us get there. The second is to develop open possibilities. Very, very important. A lot of times we start working on what we want, but then we are stuck on how it should be done. You want to be like how I was. I want to be an entrepreneur, but then I was also stuck on how it had to be done. I was still stuck in the past ideas, past thoughts, without being open to a lot of other possibilities. But we'll understand this more. Important that we move to that openness, curiosity of how it can be done, accepting many ways that whatever that goal that we want to create is possible. And the third is to be able to strongly visualize what we want, being able to have clarity in what experience we want to have, and having that visualization consistently drawn. And the fourth aspect is reprogramming limiting beliefs, which is what stops us from moving ahead. Many times, you know, we are in the beginning of the year. We create a lot of resolutions, but then we fail to work on it, or we fail to move forward with it because somewhere we stop ourselves. Think this is not possible. There's always a limiting belief that we create. You know, in our placebo experiments, just like how if you believe that it is possible, you can create. The other way is true too. If you believe it's not possible for you, of course you will not create. So many times our creation or the manifestation doesn't happen because we have a strong beliefs that we are limiting us. These limit beliefs are coming from our environment, coming from our past experiences, coming from our conditioning that we go through. And finally, friends, the acceptance and expressing gratitude, most important step to be able to accept whatever that we want. I mean, accept whatever that we are having instead of trying to, pity. Okay, I mean, today it's not happening, and no, this doesn't work. So just giving up. A lot of times we go through challenges. So just because there is challenge doesn't mean that things is not working for you. Today it's not happening because today's experience is all coming from a sum total of all our past experiences, past thoughts, past feelings. So we accept that, hey, today's reality is from my past, but for me to create something new, all I have to do is change my thoughts, what I'm thinking and feeling today. So accepting whatever that comes and then being grateful will help us attract what we want. So these are 5 principles, and we'll talk in more detail in the 4th session. So let's start with this. A real sustained focus is possible when we have a strong physical health, energy, sound mind powers to learn and concentrate, and emotional regulation. So developing one point mindedness is not just about focused, just about concentration. A lot of times we confuse one point mindedness to only concentration. Of course, concentration is important, but the concentration or the focus comes when everything is fundamentally taken care of, and our health is taken care of, physical health, mental health. You are you want to get into a dream job. Now, to get there, maybe you have to do some extra project or do something else. Now you are already working or you are doing something already. Now, if you have to take up anything new, if you don't have enough energy, if you say end of the day, I come back and say, I'm tired, I can't do this, then of course you won't have the focus and energy to take up something new. You need strong mind or a sound mind, need to be happy. Anything that we want to work on something new, you want to feel happy, you want to be excited, you want to be, in a state that is welcoming something new. If you're already negative, if you're already feeling, oh, this is life is like this and everything is only this traffic is always bothering me. Every time I step out, I just can't take this traffic. If your mind is in that mode, then of course you won't be interested to do something new. You won't be able to attract what we want. Plenty of opportunities will come, but if you're already tired, if you feel that okay, no, this I just the environment is bad. So if your mindset is like in that, or you can't take one challenge comes and then you say, this is not possible for me. Mental resilience is very, very important when we go through our manifestation. So friends, all of this comes fundamentally when we have meditation. Now, how does meditation help in bringing these, emotional regulations, or how does the mind powers improve? So yesterday, or we cover this mostly in 40 days. The mind, which is having 50 to 60,000 thoughts every day, which is mostly negative and uh, repetitive. What do we mean? If you have a bad interaction in the morning, some you had a conflict in the morning with a neighbor. You stepped out and there's something happened. You already start, with a bad experience. Now, what happens in the mind? You First thing that comes is, oh, now neighbor spoiled my mood. I have an important project meeting, and now I'm supposed to be, working on that. But this, unnecessarily, is always bothering me. You get into the car, you're already ruminating on this and saying, why did that neighbor say this? Why is he always bothering me? And you continue to ruminate on it, and suddenly something, in the traffic, you get into another incident, or somebody cuts you off. Now this will repeat and say, oh God, this is not happening. I was supposed to be late. I mean, I was supposed to go and prepare for the meeting, but then now the neighbor, conflict happened. Now this guy is also stopping me. So that will continue. So we continue to keep repeating these negative thoughts over and over and over again. Even when you go to office, this one is always in back of the mind. These negative thoughts are repeating. One thought will lead to another. I mean, oh, now this, bosses, I had this bad interaction with this boss yesterday. What's going to happen? All of this will continue because our thoughts that's how our mind works. There is a negative thought, that feeling of low depression will come, and then which will trigger another negative thoughts. Now, for us to change, we have to change that pattern. These negative thoughts are coming from our 90% subconscious beliefs, subconscious mind, which is filled with past experiences and beliefs. Meditation will help us to reprogram the subconscious mind. How does it happen? First, fundamentally, our mind, the brain that works when all these negative thoughts are negative, essentially, which is in a stressful state, our brain is operating in the beta or high beta state. Our brain is operating in multiple frequencies. Our brain is a neurological and electromagnetic organ. So when you measure, so you have these devices called EEG, electroencephalograms, which measures these electrical activity in the brain. So when you are in highly stressful state, we are in that high beta or a beta state. When we are wakeful, we are in a beta state, but when we are stressful, which is mostly what happens all the time, because of this mental ruminating thoughts, negative ruminations, assuming something that, okay, this is, you listen to the morning news and says, no, economy is, there's a recession possible. Somebody will say that, the recession is possible. And suddenly your mind will go, okay, what's going to happen for my job? I'm already struggling. It's too much of competition. So many things will start coming just by listening to that statement. Okay, recession in US is going to happen. Somebody will predict. Now, your mind will go into all of these different thoughts. Now that is creating a lot of stress. And that's where our brain will be in the high beta state. For us to be in a more creative mode, we have to move to more beneficial brainwave state, which is starting with alpha state. Alpha state essentially is help being in a very calm state, low 8 to 15 hertz. This is also a brainwave state where we are in a highly learning state. When in your childhood, your parents would have said, "Get up early in the morning and study." Why? Because our brain would be naturally in that alpha state when you just wake up or just about to sleep. Now, meditation is helping us to naturally move to this alpha state, even when you are not meditating. Consistently practicing meditation for a few weeks and months, you slowly move. Of course, starting with meditation, when you start meditating, your brainwave is already moving to alpha state. But consistent practice of this meditation, then your alpha is much, much higher even in your wakeful state. That means you are always learning. You are the ability to grasp, the ability to create. A lot of mental powers significantly increase at this, in this state. Further, as you practice meditation, research has shown that we go into also theta state, where a lot of creative insights come. Many times you're working on a problem, suddenly a great idea comes up. Where does it come from? Because your brain is moved to a theta state. Meditation is helping us to deliberately and naturally move to theta state. Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater, the largest hedge fund in the world, he said, the success of my uh, uh, the fund I attribute to intuition that I would get because of meditation. He's been a meditation practitioner for more than 40 years. The intuition, that insight that comes, that creative insight comes when we move into the theta state. And as we intensely practice, we also move into delta state, which is the deep healing state where a lot of body healing happens. Doctors say you have to have a good sleep all the time. Why? Because when we have deep sleep, non-REM sleep, dreamless sleep, then you are allowing the body to repair itself. You move into the delta state. Now, meditation is doing the same and much more, and deliberately. And finally, friends, meditation will also help us to move to the gamma state, which is a flow state. You want to pick up a project, very great project that you truly enjoy. Meditation will help you to go into that gamma state where everything else disappears. You are just focused and get things done so well. There's a lot of peak awareness. There's a lot of cognitive uh, uh, actions that you develop. Sometimes if you're working on some your pet project, you get so engrossed, you feel so much in the flow that you forget that you have to eat, you have to sleep, nothing, you remember. And that state is the gamma state. Meditators regularly go into this. So meditation also helps us to improve our mental well-being. It's important, we spoke about that our mental state, if we are always in a conflict mode, if we are always frustrated, then we are not in a way to focus on anything. If you're in a stressful mode, we call as survival mode to striving mode to a thriving mode. Survival mode is you always feel, okay, I just have to get through today, and that's all. I can't do anything more. when does a day end? At work, there's a lot of escalation, there's a lot of uh, pressure, and you can't even think of your future. You just say, okay, let me just get through today. Stress will help, will always push us not to, be hopeful. There's always something that is bothering. You just have to, I just let me get through end of the month. My finances are worry. I don't have enough finances. Let me just get through end of the month. That's the mindset that we have. Meditation helps us to relieve our stress. Stressful act When we are in a stressful state, our sympathetic nervous system is active. Our body is designed in a way that it is balanced for parasympathetic activities, while sympathetic nervous systems help us to be on the tip of our toes all the time. That is ready to act, ready to fight, ready to survive. It's also balanced by parasympathetic, which helps to calm ourselves down, to bring back our homeostasis, bring back balance in our body. But when we are in that highly negative thinking or repetitive thinking, we always are continuously in the stressful mode. So our parasympathetic nervous system, which is essentially will is meant to bring balance into the body, to bring calmness into the body, which is what is required to rest our body. Many of us, why do we struggle to sleep? Earlier, before coming into meditation, I would take about an hour, even after lying down, even to go to that, uh, light sleep. Why? Because these mental ruminations that stress would always be carried. Now, with meditation, what our parasympathetic nervous system becomes very, very active. So even if there is any stressful situations comes, immediately we go back into homeostasis, go back into balance, go back into the calmness. We don't carry the past. Many of you, if you have felt this, how you've been practicing meditation for some time, how you are no longer carrying anything, any rough situations for more than a few hours or minutes. Please type in. Meditation is naturally help us to be in a highly mental resilient state. Nothing stops, nothing bothers us as much, which is also because of the feel good hormones that gets developed. We go through in a 40-day program. I highly recommend those of you who are new, please join a 40-day program that's coming up for free, where we talk in detail about some of the signs of stress reduction. The dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin, these are all feel good hormones that are naturally present in our body. But when we are in stressful state, these hormones are not getting produced. Meditation the studies have shown that all these feel good hormones, each of them doing a different function. Dopamine will make us feel high, feel good about our, when we get things done, feel good about ourselves. Oxytocin helps us become more compassionate, more loving. Serotonin will help us to regulate our mood, feeling relaxed, feeling uh, joyous. Endorphins will help us to alleviate pain. I mean, sometime back, doing a session on meditation, an anesthesiologist said this: if you're practicing meditation, we need less of anesthesia when somebody is is going through a surgery, because their ability to handle pain is much, the threshold for pain is much higher. Now, all these essentially is helping us to be in that higher emotions, higher energy state. Meditation is bringing that naturally. You don't need external, supplements or external things to, get you these hormones. Body is already naturally producing, and meditation is helping us to, develop that. Meditation is also helping, and for us to be in a creative mode, for us to be, in creating new things. Manifesting means we are creating, co-creating something new experience. Meditation is helping to develop our brain faculty fully. Several mind powers are significantly increased with meditation. Our ability to access and connect the dots is called a systemic thinking. A lot of our past experiences would have come with, we would have got a lot of knowledge from the past. Now, when a new situation comes in, our ability to connect multiple things from the past and come out with creative solutions, it's called systemic thinking, significantly increases with meditation, because the prefrontal cortex, or the whole uh, conscious mind abilities, are significantly enhanced with meditation. What is required, we can easily get at spontaneously. It's called the access power to all our experiences or knowledge from the past. First of all, we get to store more because we become more neuroplastic. Also increases our ability to grasp things more. Our ability to focus, of course, the concentration part of the focus also significantly increases, because our thoughts are thoughts come down significantly with meditation. When thoughts are, there is less distracting thoughts in the mind, then whatever thought that we want to focus on, we can easily put all our energies. The concentration power significantly increases. The reading power, the ability to, learn more. I mentioned this. We go into this alpha state significantly easily, and we stay in that alpha state most of the time. You see any uh, meditator consistently practicing, they'll be calmer than most others, because you are in that alpha state. Now that alpha state allows us to learn more, read more. our creative power increases significantly. Studies have shown that, typically they say, one half of the brain is logical and the other half is creative. For a meditator who's been practicing consistently, the connection between these two hemispheres are shown to be thicker, becoming stronger. What does that mean? Essentially, it means we become whole brain. Our ability to use the entire part of the brain becomes higher. We become a lot more. People who are more logical become more creative. People who are becoming creative also learn to use, analytical mind in a more balanced way. So essentially, our meditation helps us to significantly improve our mind powers. We become more creative, more focused, and of course the neuroscience backs this to a lot of studies. So friends, finally, and then this is the most important aspect of the meditation, and why we are able to be more focused with meditation is the ability to have strong emotional regulation. Emotional regulation means you are not getting triggered by situations. Traffic is the best example, especially if you're living in an urban environment. Every day, morning and evening, these traffic incidents are always triggering. We talk about it so much with every time you meet. The first topic will be, how the traffic is bad or how things are bad, how the environment is bad. Now that is because we get easily triggered by these situations. Now, your spouse tells you one thing, immediately, it flares up out of nowhere. So emotional regulation is significantly improved with meditation. And there was this study by astrophysicist Graham, who was a skeptic who and wanted to experiment what happens when you go into meditation. About 8 weeks of meditation, he experimented on himself. A person who was very, very skeptic, he found that 8 weeks of meditation increases the part of the brain which is regulating our emotions. The brain increased by 22.8%. So essentially, what it means is we no longer get, you know, hampered by our emotions. Things don't go according to what we were expecting. Instead of getting bothered, you become calmer and say, okay, let me see what is going on. You become more conscious in dealing with things. You're no longer worried by others' opinions. You're no longer triggered by somebody's uh, statements. Your manager gives you a feedback. It doesn't bother you, but it will help you to take it in the more right spirit. If we get bothered, I mean, that emotions will trigger significant repetitive, the thinking feeling loop that I spoke earlier. But meditation helps us to step back just a bit and look at things more objectively. So friends, let's go into meditation. Because fundamentally, as all of this is the first principle is greatly developed with meditation. Anyone who's practicing consistently meditation, they develop this very, very, very naturally. So yesterday we learned this process, but we learned, for those of you who are new, the practice that we're following is called breath mindfulness meditation. Very, very, very simple and easy to practice. The posture is simple. You're sitting on the chair, cross your legs at the ankle, sit comfortably. The comfort of the body is important. Sit comfortably. If you want to take support of the back, rest, please do. Cross your cross fingers into fingers and gently place your hands on the lap. If you're wearing specs, you can remove them and close our eyes and observe this simple natural breath. We are observing the natural breath. We all have our natural breath, whether we are aware of it or not, while walking, while doing actions, or sitting, we are breathing naturally, right? That natural breath we are observing. Take any reference point on the nose, preferably between the eyes here, and observe that natural breath going in and coming out. We are not manipulating the breath. We are not trying to control the breath. Whatever that is natural to us, some may be deep, for some it may be shallow. Whatever that is natural to you, observe that natural breath. And as we are observing the breath, our mind is becoming empty naturally. The goal of this meditation is to empty our mind, all thoughts. We're not controlling the thoughts, but by observing this breath and naturally allowing the thoughts to come down. So as we are observing the breath, thoughts are becoming zero and we are experiencing that emptiness. Now, at this point, if thoughts come, all we are doing is we bring back our attention to the breath. All right, friends. So before that, yesterday we would have learned this process called heart elevation, which is a mind process, but it's a brief process which will help us to go deeper. If you go to a HeartMath Institute, you learn more about this science behind this. But this process is we bring our attention to our heart and bring elevated emotions like love, gratitude, compassion, adventure, any of these elevated emotions. You bring that into your heart and experience it and spread that energy all around. Do that for a few minutes. We become more coherent. From meditation perspective, it will help us to go deeper into the breath mindfulness meditation. All right, friends, let's start. Close your eyes, relax.
Dear friends, dear masters, with the specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands
your chest area. And resting your attention on your sacred heart. And can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the center of all emotions, nurturing all life. With its higher vibration of love, compassion, kindness, gratitude. Can you recollect an experience from your past? Or simply imagine to be living an experience of higher emotions of love, deep joy, gratitude. Relive that moment and feel that energy. The more you experience this higher emotions and energy of love, compassion, the more coherent you become. With all things and everyone. We are all deeply interconnected. Deep inside, we are specks of energy connected to each other. Tell yourself to direct this energy, to spread this energy to everyone and everything on this planet, to help them elevate themselves, where your attention goes, there your energy flows. Feel. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation with your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in breath and the out breath. We are going into powerful group meditation, dear friends. Observe your natural in breath and the out breath. When you observe your breath, your mind becomes empty. The mind is becoming empty. We experience greater emptiness. That calmness inside of you, all around you. It is natural to have thought. When you recognize your thinking, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to go into the deeper states of calmness, emptiness. As the mind is becoming empty, all that liberated energy is channelized into the present moment. Your body begins to function at its natural best. You develop greater power of thought. Come into your breath and allow yourself to experience that emptiness, calmness inside of you, all around you. Become aware of that calmness, stillness within you as you merge into your breath. All emptiness is energy. This is the quantum field of limitless dimensions, the field of infinite possibilities. The more you are with it, the more you tune in to the abundance of healing energy. Empowerment energy, that energy of love, that energy of the mystic, or whatever you can become aware of. Plunge into this emptiness of no body, of nothing. less matter, more emptiness and energy. As the mind is rested, you move away from this matter, your body. You experience that emptiness, energy, the field of all connection, the field of all wisdom. The more you are in this calmness, emptiness, the more insightful you become, the more connected you become. Merge into the emptiness of yourself, your divine self. Receive your greater mind, that awareness. the more you are with it, the more you experience your intuitive intelligence. The more you develop that acceptance, and the more effortless life becomes. Friends, it's truly a privilege to be experiencing this life, to be exploring consciousness for a greater life at this time of history. Many are not so blessed. Can you express gratitude to everything and to everyone? Be grateful to this intelligent universe. To your parents, to your teachers, to your mentors. Deep gratitude to yourself, to your body. Give thanks to this nature, the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom. Gratitude to all the people in your life, to everyone. To everything, the technology, the system, the companies, the governments. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. recollect your experiences from the session. And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. And then you open your eyes.
Okay, friends. If you had a good meditation, I see there are a few new participants. Anyone who's been who came in this program, who's been doing for the first time, feel free to share your experiences in the chat, how the meditation was. Anyone felt this meditation, some of, as we go deeper, may experience certain experiences you may have. Anyone felt lightness, the body felt light or felt like floating, either the upper body feels lighter, please do share if anyone has experienced this during meditation in the chat. Anyone felt heaviness in the body, felt very heavy, like a stone, or felt the head is heavy or the lower part of the body is heavy, felt could not move. Anyone felt body movements like whirling movements, feeling of body rotating. May not be rotating, but just the feeling of it. Head moving forward, backward, body moving forward, backward. Anyone saw colors or visions, the light feeling, the color of the white light, some kind of a feeling of going through the tunnel. Felt some of your body organs are missing, body is non-existent. Wonderful. Anyone felt very, very emotional, felt like tears flowing, felt some deep feelings. All these experiences are what is called as an energy experience. Having no experience is a perfect tool. There's no right or wrong experience. What we experience one day may not, you may not have the experience. Some other day you may have a different experience or no experience. All that is perfectly fine. These experiences means we are uh, having the energy experiences. When you close our eyes and observe our breath, we are withdrawing our attention from our physical senses, the seeing, the touch, the feel, hearing, all of it. We are drawing our attention from the physical matter. So when we draw attention from the physical matter, then what remains is energy. We'll listen to this more about this energy in a little while now. But that is what we are experiencing, that energy. And energy can be in any form. You can experience energy in different forms. It could be all these experiences. Some way I feel a lot of pain in the body. But all of this is perfectly fine and safe. All we do is we become a witness to these experiences and go through with it. We don't try to analyze. We don't try to engage with those experiences during meditation. We become a witness. We just allow it to happen. So, friends, to summarize what we did for meditation, meditation develops single-minded focus by developing all quotients. Meditation develops holistically our physical quotient, the intellectual quotient, emotional quotient, and of course, the manifestation quotient and a spiritual quotient. We'll talk about it. By developing our whole body, the mental powers, the physical health, some of it we can go in detail. If you join our 4-day program, you'll understand science behind it. So we'll take a short break for about 5 minutes now, or we want to continue. We'll take a short break. We'll break for about 5 minutes and we'll come back and we'll cover. This is an important topic that we would like to cover, especially as we move into the subsequent sessions. Manifestation science for meditation essentially happens because what is called as moving from energy to matter. So this concept is very, very important, as you know, we want to create a miraculous reality for ourselves. So we'll take a short break and then we'll come back and cover this concept of being open to possibilities. We'll understand a little bit of quantum physics principle. All right. So 7:50 a.m. Indian time. We start in 7:55. Those of you who want to just take a short break, you know, he can come back. All right. Can you play some music, please? Huh? Meanwhile, if anyone would like to, yes. Yes, ma'am. You can unmute yourself.
Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if this is relevant, but I thought, I mean, it is bothering me a lot. So I just wanted to ask. Is that fine?
Yes, can you stop the music?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Actually, from so many years, I keep getting so many bad dreams daily, almost daily. And if let's say my stress levels increases, I mean, something like that. I mean, it will go to some uh, more extent. Like I don't have good deep sleep. Like I am sleep deprived. Also, I mean, a lot of stress from personal and professional life. So uh, I keep getting bad dreams daily, almost from so many years. And let's say if I'm in a good mood or I'm in a calm state, I don't get it, and it will not disturb my day or productivity. But it's very rare. Like I only remember when I watched Mahabharat or
Is this
uh,
the first time you're coming into the program?
I have
Madam?
attended some sessions, but not very regular. I attend book clubs.
Okay. Important. Start with the meditation.
Yeah. I
Consistent
understand
practice.
meditation will help. Uh, is there any other inputs that you would like to add apart from meditation?
Start with the meditation. Without meditation, nothing else will work.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay. I understand.
The reason I'll tell you is you might go to a lot of things. You might read so many things, but until and unless you start practicing meditation, you'll not be able to implement. It'll just remain as a knowledge. So please do join our meditation programs, madam. That's the only solution. But the moment you start practicing, just practice for that 3 to 6 weeks. Don't join, okay, I'll try for 1 or 2 days and see. Make it consistent for yourself. And then please do come back. And I'd like to definitely hear all these challenges that you're saying. All that will go away. All right. Of course, this manifestation, this one is a great topic, because this will help you to focus, and in your meditation you'll also do some meditations where we affirm some of these affirmations, being able to calm, being able to focus on what we want. But meditation is a fundamental key. All right. Okay. Anything else?
Yes, yes. One more thing is that I know that a specific person is not good for me. I know it logically, but somehow I'm not able to come out of it, or maybe I'm stuck there. I know that person is not good for me.
Again,
Yeah.
meditation. Meditation will help. Meditation will help with relationships. Meditation will help with our physical health. This relationship challenge is quite a common challenge. But when we go through meditation, that's why I spoke about this emotional regulation. It happens with meditation. People will no longer be a trigger for you. But then even if trigger happens, then you'll start understanding why that's happening. So for everything, meditation, please practice meditation for next few weeks, 40 days. What we recommend, do meditation for 40 days. And then I would like to hear how things have changed for you.
Yeah.
All right. There's no other solution, madam. Meditation
Yeah.
is the most simplest solution that we can have, but yet the most powerful. Okay.
Yeah.
All.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So as we move to the second principle, which is essentially being open to possibilities. We spoke about these 5 principles. So the second principle says open to possibilities. So what does that mean? We are looking to create an extraordinary life for yourself. All of us here, I do hope you've joined this because you want to create something miraculous for yourself. Meditation is a way to live miraculously. So to live miraculously, we change our mindset. Everything that we speak about is moving towards that state. Now, for that to happen, we have to be open to all different possibilities. You want to be a CEO of a company. Now, the traditional thinking is, okay, if you just started working, and you would assume, okay, way to become CEO is, okay, I have to work every 3 years. I work hard, I get promotion, and then and someday I'll become 30, 40 years, I'll become a CEO. But is it not possible that tomorrow somebody else will come and say, I know you have a great talent, and I have this uh, idea, and I have the investment. I'd like you to be a CEO of my company so that we work together to create a beautiful product. Now that possibility exists, but normally what will happen? How is this possible? I don't even have experience. We stop ourselves. Now, this fundamental principle that being open to possibilities comes from the principle of quantum physics, which says we are all energy with infinite possibilities. So the three fundamental principles that we look at today is we are less matter, more energy. Quantum principle says quantum physics is essentially study of the tiniest particle that everything is made up of, like the atoms. When scientists studied, they saw that we are 99.99999% energy and less, very 0.0001% matter. If it is 99.9999 energy, if we round it off, what will it be? Yeah, 100% energy. Yeah, almost everything is energy. What we see as matter is very, very, very small. That's the first principle. Second principle, that we have unlimited possibilities and potential. They looked at the subatomic particles. They observed that they could be in anywhere, any place with any potential. So we are unlimited. We have unlimited potential. And a third, which makes everything come together, is that our observation manifests the possibilities. Now, there is infinite possibilities in that field of energy field. When we make a strong observation, and our observation is our thoughts and feelings, that intention, our thoughts and feelings. From this infinite possible field, we manifest and move that possibility from energy to matter. Niels Bohr, the quantum physicist, is the pioneer in quantum physics about 100 years ago, during time of Einstein and this one. He's the Nobel laureate. He said everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. And this is Niels Bohr talking about. scientists moved towards quantum physics because when they were looking to understand how the world, how the universe works, the galaxies, the entire universe working, they could not explain with the Newtonian physics. So they looked at the most tiniest particles, the most fundamental particles, looking to find answers for the questions that they were seeking the answers to. So when they studied atoms, which is the quantum physics, and Niels Bohr is saying this, everything that we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. When we say what is real, something that we can touch, feel, and see through our physical senses. Essentially, he's saying what we call as matter is not necessarily, real. Of course, in our scriptures or other things, we always call this everything is illusion, everything is Maya. Right? But the fundamental physics or the science behind it is for saying that everything that is made up of things that we call as real is actually not real. Heisenberg, who's another quantum physicist, also said this: the reality we can put into words is never reality itself. Again, these physicists or the quantum physics, people who study quantum physics, coming to the conclusion that everything is energy and not matter. So let's understand this a bit, from atomic particle, what we mean. The whole body is made up of organs, right? So we have brain, we have heart, we have liver, we have stomach. These are all different organs, each performing different functions. Now, each of these organs are made up of cells. And the cells, they come together doing common functions as organs. Now, these cells, if you break it further, are made up of molecules. These are all high school science, right? Just understand this a bit. This is important. So these molecules, different molecules like water is a molecule, H2O, salt, NaCl. So different molecules, hydrogen, different atoms come together, molecules. They all come together to form a cell, right? And of course, these molecules are made up of individual atoms. You'll have hydrogen atom, oxygen atom, sodium, phosphorus. All these different atoms come together in different form, different shape, numbers with different interaction between each of these atoms. They form molecules. Now, these atoms so once we break down everything, I mean, it's not just a human body. If you break down a table, if you break down this computer, if you break down anything, ultimately they are made up of atoms and subatomic particles, right? Subatomic particles are the protons and electrons and neutrons. So when scientists studied, for example, the electron, what they found was this electron was behaving like a wave or energy not just as a matter. All these subatomic particles, they looked at them, under the electron microscope. They found that these electrons are behaving like waves or energy, and as well as a matter. It's called as wavicle. Now these waves are filled with energy. Two things. One is they are filled with energy and they are connected, right? So when they are mostly energy, which is 99.9999% energy, they have infinite possibilities. So imagine this, right? So you drop a, a, a stone in a clear lake. What will happen? It will form waves, right? Now, that wave, if you put any point, anything in that water, now it can move anywhere because that wave is moving, and it's possible that it's like moving anywhere. Imagine your cell phone signal. They're also energy waves. You can't see where it is. Everywhere it is available, right? You can't pinpoint this is a position where the wave is there. It's all surrounding. So similarly, when they found that electrons behaving like a wave, it had many, many possibilities. Now, when there was an observation that was made on this atom, so when electron is left alone, it has infinite possibilities. It can be here in your room or somewhere in a different part of the world. It behaves as if it is, it can move with any, it can take up any position, any position in the space or any matter, any size. So essentially, if electrons are behaving as energy, then everything that is made up of those electrons and atoms are also acting as energy. Now, when they are acting as energy, they are all becoming one. You can't separate energy that is there from one point to another. That wave in the water, you can't separate. They're all connected from one point to another, isn't it? So when they're all connected, they're allowing any possibilities to become as a matter. Let's look at this, in this picture to give a little more understanding of this, because a little bit science of it. So if you can see here, the atom, this is a typical model that is shown for an atom, right? We have a central proton and proton or neutron. than surrounding electrons, right? However, when you say electrons are behaving as, or subatomic particles are behaving as waves, these are the waves. Now, when you have as a wave, you have many different possibilities of this electron to be in any of these positions. And you can't say from here to here where it can be. And they're all connected, right? Now, the key in the quantum physics is when an observation is made. So these possibilities are the electron can be in any position, any possibilities, any potential. But when there is an observation on this, which is in scientific terms, they do measurement to try, when they try to measure what is the position, what is the energy of the electron, then it is behaving as a matter. Let's understand this a bit with this experiment, which will help us understand,
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern! We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange netherworld of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Okay. This is a famous experiment called double slit experiment. And this animation was created by Dr. Fred Alan Wolf, a quantum physicist, to explain, try to simplify the concept of observation creates reality. Please go back. I mean, you can search for this double slit experiment by Fred Alan Wolf, and you can, review it again if you have. It takes some time to understand. But what this experiment was saying is, they looked at electron as a particle and tried to see the pattern of what it makes. But when they observed, they saw that it was behaving like a wave. And that's how they concluded that electron or the subatomic particles are behaving like wave. Wave means energy. Now, when they try to measure, that is essentially what is called as an observation, then the electron was behaving as a matter, that is with a specific mass, position, and mass and position. So this is the fundamental experiment which shares that, and which is what we will use in our subsequent sessions, because everything is created through observation. Every event, for example, today that we have come together, it's a physical event, right? I mean, or even a virtual event. If let's say, we all come together in a room. Now, that is a physical event, which is an experience we all are coming together for. It is made up of people, places, and things, right? Or even this virtual event, it's like we are all in our individual homes in a physical space. They're all connected, but they are all made up of people, places, and things. So our experience, what we call as experience, is essentially made up of people, places, and things. So any physical event or an experience is coming together of different subatomic particles through our observation. What is our observation? We all intended to join this workshop. We all intended to be in this specific place, joining the Zoom session to the app or whatever. But there was a specific intention. Each of us came together with the right feeling and thought. We said, I want to join this. I want to learn more about it. That's why this event has been created. So every physical event is an experience which is formed through an observation, which comes to the conclusion that when we have a focused mind, an open mind and a focused mind, both are required. Open to possibilities. Open to possibilities with a focus of what we want, of how we should be open, because there are different infinite possibilities in this field of quantum, in the quantum field. Suddenly you might get a call. You want to travel somewhere. You may not have money, but somebody can call you and tell you, hey, I have a ticket, and I'd like you to travel. Is that possible or not? That possibility exists when we are open to it. If you are not open and say, no, I cannot get ticket now because the flights are full or it's too expensive, then we discount all other possibilities, and these opportunities, we won't even see it. If our focus is there to be, let's say you want to attend a college, specific, you want to have a college. If you're open to it, then, and you're hold on to that goal of going to that college, does it matter if it happens this year or next year? If there's open to possibilities, then, and if it's strong enough, then you even if it doesn't happen this year, you will continue to hold on to that if it's strong enough. That's why you need that focused mind to say, be strong towards your whatever that you have want to create. So meditation develops that right mind, that focused mind, to be able to hold on to that goal of whatever that we want to create. So friends, meditation helps us to experience that quantum field of infinite possibilities. When we go into meditation, what are we doing? We are withdrawing senses, withdrawing attention from our physical senses, the touch, this, hear, seeing, all these five senses through which we are experiencing this physical matter. Everything is a experience of this physical reality through these physical senses. Now, in meditation, we are withdrawing our attention from these physical senses and then connecting with that quantum field, which is of infinite possibilities. We are experiencing that infinite possibilities during every meditation. Every time we bring back our attention to the breath, we're connecting to the field. So we are connecting to the field through meditation. Now, our thought and feeling, it's important both are there. That elevated emotion about having that experience that you want to have. brings brings from that infinite possibilities into physical reality. So every meditation, when we are observing the breath, we are training our mind to connect to that feel, to be open to any possibilities. In that infinite field, we have an opportunity to connect to any different infinite possibility. So every time we meditate, we can, with the right intention, connect to the field of possibilities that we want out of all different possibilities. So the more we practice, the more we spend time with this field, the more we get connected, more stronger connection that we can build to the possibility that we want. Consistent practice of meditation is important. So friends, before we conclude today's session, just want to connect the quantum physics principles to the spiritual science. Some of us we may have heard from our childhood. Now we've heard that concept that we are not this body, we are consciousness, we are divine. Quantum physics is corroborating and saying that we are energy, we are that infinite possible energy. We are not just this tiny matter. We are not just this tiny matter, but we are energy. Niels Bohr said this. Heisenberg has said this. We have infinite possibilities, unlimited potential. And the spiritual science saying that we have the divine power within us. Our observation manifests the possibilities. Spiritual science, of course, we are saying yad bhavam tad bhavati. In the Upanishads, you would have heard aham brahmasmi. That means I am that God, I am that Brahman within me. And yad bhavam tad bhavati. Whatever we think, whatever that we feel is what we are creating. So to conclude here, we can create anything that we want as long as we are open to those possibilities. When I started out, to be an entrepreneur, and I was working, I had failed in my first attempt. Because for whatever reasons. And with that experience, I had already made up my mind that no, I cannot be an entrepreneur. And I'd created many things. I said that I'd given many reasons for it. I don't come from business background. My family doesn't have business knowledge. I don't have good networking skills. I can't. So many things. I said I can't. I had shut down many of these possibilities. But with meditation, when I understood this, I said, let me imply this. It can happen anyway, but can I be clear on what I want? How is not what I focus on? How will happen when I'm open to different possibilities? So being open to possibilities is, in other words, saying I'll allow things to happen. I'm not fixated on how it should happen. I know what I want, but I'm open to any which way it can happen. If you're a salesperson, you wait. I mean, even if the customer says it's not a deal, I mean, this happened. A salesperson, so they were, salesperson from different companies. They were bidding. They had sent in a proposal. Now, the customer said to this salesman, he said that no, this is we are awarding the contract to some other company. Now, this salesman, he was intent on his goal, and he didn't give up. He was open. So he continued to create the contract even after the company said that they have finalized the vendor and they're going to some other company. But he was open to possibilities and he started writing the contract. Few days later, the customer calls him and says, while we had decided to go with the other vendor, later we found something, and because of which we are stopping that and we are going with you. Now, because he was open to possibilities, that possibility that that customer finding out something which they didn't like with the other vendor later after they made their decision, that was a possibility, right? And he's able to execute his contract. So as long as we are open to possibilities, understand that there is infinite possibilities, any which ways it can happen, even after the apparent closure of that that opportunity. So thank you, friends. As we conclude this session, reflect today as you the rest of the day. It's an important concept. Many times we are a barrier for our own creation. Our mind, our beliefs, our strong ego, it says this is only way possible, is stopping things from happening. You can reflect on some of the past experience and see, was there a different possibility? When you concluded that it's not possible, was there even a tiniest possibility or opportunity for a different result to happen if you continued with it? It's a good point to reflect. Because a lot of times when we conclude, we are stopping things from happening. We are giving up. Always. Yes. Any questions? We'll stay for a few minutes, but then we'll come back today for the third session. As in the third session, we will do some practicals where we are will go into. So be prepared to spend some time reflecting on what we want to create. We'll do some practical sessions and then we'll do a meditation where we'll be able to actually visualize and so on. Very, very active, be active in this process. End of this program, would like you to be clear on what you want and at least clear on the process of how you'll go about for the next few days. Okay, so the question to
Yeah. So I've put my query in the chat, the same thing, like to improve focus, we do meditation. So to become open to the possibilities, is it the same meditation, or how to become open to the possibilities?
yes, meditation is the key. And the reason is when we are meditating, we are bringing down the negative possibilities down. We are now all these, when we say we are closing our mind, means we are restricting our thoughts to only one possibility. But with meditation, we are clearing it. We are becoming open, more open. But second thing is also more wisdom. You have to read more books from the masters who have done things that are miraculous. Steve Jobs, when you read his books, his autobiography, you'll know things. He created an entire industry. So you'll be more exposed to different possibilities. But meditation is the key because then you increase your awareness. When you are practicing meditation, you are increasing your awareness. So every time your inner thought says no, then you will be able to recognize that, okay, you're becoming aware of those inner negative and you have an opportunity to change. Every time, this is what would happen. When I would visualize, practice manifestation, meditation, I want to start my own company. I want to be an entrepreneur. There'll be a thought that will come. Oh, last time you tried, you didn't succeed. You had, you don't, you are a technologist, but you are not good with business. Some of these would come, and then I would be able to recognize and say, why is that? And we'll talk about this in the subsequent sessions. How do we reprogram it? But meditation is a fundamental requirement. I'd read books about visualization. I'd read books about subconscious mind 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years before I came into meditation. But I could not implement because that awareness was not there. Meditation, once I got into meditation, all that knowledge I was able to implement because that awareness comes in.
Okay, one thing is by reading and by practicing meditation to be okay.
Practice of meditation is the key. Reading will help you implement that knowledge.
Okay. I have one continuation question to this.
Sure.
Um, like there are two versions of our horoscope or birth chart thing. Some say
Madam,
like how
I would like you to ask this question after you
practice.
do practice meditation, because all that answers will come about horoscope. What is that? How does it affect? All of that will come once you get into meditation. A lot of times this is things that comes from our conditioning. Please practice meditation. All right. Okay. Yes, Mr. Ajit.
Good morning, sir. I wanted to really share one thing related to our today's discussion, so that each one of us, get little insights about it. Sir, like the session we started 40-day program, presence program, that was the first time I could attend the meditation and understand. And I, attended all 40 days. I was like blessed to attend, and it created a lot of things. Like things have already started manifesting. Like from 2015, I wrote around 28 books, but never published any. And it was always my dream to publish all these books. But then I wanted to have my own private limited and wanted to have my own sales channel in the form of global e-commerce kind of a platform. But then I never wanted to have equity dilution also, and I never had my enough funds to support my. So with this thing, but my feeling to publish it and to do it without any dilution, was very very strong, that intention. So what happened is, I found a publication, from the US. They call as Big Five publication houses. So I have redesigned my structure, where I have shifted my model into a royalty based model, where Big Five, one of the American publishers, they are going to handle this, and I'm going giving them 79% equity, and I'm going to keep 21%. And to complete that process, the presentation process, the dossier bundle preparation, I have hired another publication house from Chhattisgarh, which are helping me at a very affordable price. So when your intentions are there, and you things automatically, things starts aligning in your favor, because I have many other e-commerce platform for which I needed my complete attention. So, I thought that why not to give to someone who already has a global presence, and by their presence, my aim is to heal the humanity by my books. So why not to give this role to someone who is already doing from 200 years? So, instead of having my own platform, that platform parallelly will exist, definitely, but so my intentions
Yes, sir.
led manifestations, started taking in shape, and automatically everything started aligning. That is why I wanted to say so. Thank you.
Wonderful. I know I've been a very, very sincere practitioner since you came in, very, very active. Absolutely right. When the intentions are strong, when you hold on to that and believe in possibilities. So when that happens, things you will start attracting, and that's exactly what this whole manifestation workshop is all about. First, you have to believe that there is possibilities, because the quantum physics that gives that little insight to say, why the possibility exists. But first, you have to believe that this possibility, is open. And then you hold on to that intention, strong intention, and then things will happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, friends. So thank you for being part of this. We'll come back again. Reshma, any announcement?
No, sir. But in the third session, we'll have vision board, so everyone can keep their charts, pens and sketch pens ready, so that you can create your own vision board beautifully. Yeah.
Yes, please have a chart paper, different color pens. We'll do some exercise creating a vision board in the next session. And reflect for today, what is it that you truly want for yourself? Some goals that you can just reflect and when you come back to the next session. All right. Thank you, and see you in the next session. We'll take some of the questions also in the next sessions. Not taking up too many Q&A now, but whatever questions you have, we'll discuss in the last two sessions. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful.